People travel to the Arctic in the far north of Canada for many reasons. Some wish to experience the awe-inspiring beauty of rugged, pristine landscapes and get far away from the hustle and stresses that are imposed on their lives by civilization. Still others desire to test themselves against the raw power of untamed wilderness and hope for brief encounters with animals that no longer exist back home. Like the caribou herds that traverse the Arctic on epic migrations driven only by instinct and the change of seasons. Like prehistoric muskox, which somehow look out of place in our modern world. Like the deadly predators, the cunning and persistent wolf, and the mighty grizzly, the top of the food chain. There are not many places on the globe that can provide people with this level of adventure travel, and one of the best is a rafting adventure on the Burnside River. The Burnside is a classic tundra river, dropping 460 meters from its headwaters at Contwoyto Lake in Canada's Northwest Territories to the Arctic Ocean at Bathurst Inlet. It offers challenging whitewater, beautiful scenery, and abundant wildlife. The landscape is dramatic, with rolling tundra punctuated by narrow canyons, waterfalls, and sandy beaches. Located about 430 kilometers north of Yellowknife, the river is only accessible by float plane. Isolated, rugged, and remote, only 30 to 40 adventure seekers make the trip each year. The jump-off point for most trips into the Canadian Arctic is the capital city of Yellowknife, home to nearly half the population of the entire province. Originally founded around gold mining, it now serves as the hub for the entire region. With virtually no roads existing to the north, everything moves by air, and the airplane of choice is the float plane. Floatplane bases here are some of the busiest in the entire Arctic region. Putting together an adventure trip on a remote Arctic river can be a formidable task, even for the experienced traveler. Our Burnside River, a rafting adventure, was organized by one of North America's premier outfitters, Nahanni River Adventures. Nahanni has been organizing eco-river adventures on North America's top wilderness rivers for many years. Their guides are some of the best in the Arctic, and they know how to cross all the T's and dot all the I's.
It nice and snug around your body, because if you did actually come out of the boat, this is how we're going to get you back in. So the last thing in the world you want is me to pull this off right over your head. That would be bad. So it
should be tighter.
It should be a bit tighter, yeah. Not so that you can't breathe, but tight enough that it feels snug. So there's...
On the first morning of our trip, our group of 11 adventurers and 3 guides came together at the Air Tindi floatplane base to load our gear and prepare for our flight out on the tundra. Air Tindi, with a highly experienced staff of pilots, provides air services all over the region and is one of the busiest in Yellowknife. Excitement ran high as we loaded 2 twin otters and we're soon lifting off the water for the 2.5-hour flight to the river. It was amazing to be flying over so much wilderness. Eventually, the trees gave way to the tundra, and the tundra had not let go of winter. With most of the lake still ice-covered, we had to fly a bit downstream to find enough open water to land. Finally on the water, all our pent-up anticipation and excitement could now be focused on unloading our gear, which we accomplished in record time. When the plane taxied away from the bank, we watched our only link to civilization leaving us behind and couldn't help feel a bit alone. The first order of business was to get the camp set up and then have dinner, including wine.
Arctic char, which has been caught somewhere near Yellowknife, and I'm not sure it's as good as the stuff that we're going to catch ourselves, but it's pretty darn tasty.
Not bad for our first meal out on the tundra. The next morning brought a surprise from Mother Nature. It was colder, and it looked as though the snow was going to be with us for a while. We spent a couple of days here waiting for the weather to break. With hikes out on the tundra, critter watching, gear to prepare, and good food, we had plenty to keep us busy. By our third morning, it warmed up and it was time to load the rafts, receive last-minute instructions, and push out into the current.
Yeah, it's a beautiful campsite, so if we could make it there, you know, at a decent hour and you guys weren't too tired or cold or anything, then that would be ideal.
Boy, it sure felt good to be on the water and moving. And as an added benefit, the caribou seemed to be everywhere. We soon came to a small island called Nadlak. The name in Inuktitut means place where the deer cross. The National Museum of Civilization during the summers of '85 and '86 unearthed more than 40,000 segments of caribou antlers that formed the framework for several winter homes believed to be used by a group of Copper Inuit. Back on the water, the scenery was beautiful and the current was picking up speed. Around a bend came Belanca Rapids with Class 3 and 4 whitewater, and it was fun. Our next campsite was surrounded by 250-meter eskers that offered some incredible views. Hiking on eskers is very rewarding exercise. It was easy to feel like you were on top of the world. We spent quite a bit of time just simply observing the distant caribou herds. At breakfast the next morning, we had an unexpected visitor, and he was impressive. After a few tense moments and a loud shot from our guide's shotgun, the grizzly decided to head for the hills, and I have to admit that I felt a sense of relief as I watched him depart. Only a short while later, we had another visitor equally impressive as our first. This guy ran around the perimeter of our campsite, marking his territory as if to say, "Stay away."